Hey everybody, it is Janet Metzger of the Network Marketers Den, and I'm here today with my new friend, Melford Bibens. We met through another friend. We truly use the power of networking, and we've connected, and I feel like I've got a great new friend in you, Melford, and I'm excited for everybody to meet you. So I want to tell you, there was... I got your bio, and you guys have to listen to this. This is so impressive. Melford and I have the same mission, and it is about network marketing. So I'm going to let him tell you about his mission, but let me tell you a little bit about Melford. Melford and his wife, Concetta, is that how you pronounce her name?
Concetta, exactly.
Okay,
well done.
Bibens. They're lifelong entrepreneurs. They were both raised in family businesses. So I guess you could say it's in your blood, right? They founded the Power Image, a 10,000 square foot Medi-Spa and Fitness Center, and that was in New York. And now you're in Florida, right?
Sarasota, Florida. Yeah.
Okay.
Very
That's
nice.
smart. Move south. So since selling Power Image, Melford and Concetta have founded Team Innovations. It's an entrepreneurial training company, and they specialize using a holistic approach. I love that. It's been very financially successful, and they've got a new thing coming out. I'll let Melford tell you about it, but they've built 4 7-figure businesses. And this is what really impresses me. You have served over 42,000 clients, and that is all based in the health industry through financial freedom, fitness, nutrition, natural medicine. This is really in your blood, Melford, because you're ACE certified master trainer, Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I don't even know what these are, but I'm impressed. I have to tell you. I know this. You are a national champion powerlifter and network marketing, blue diamond. Doesn't get any higher than that. So they've combined their love of health and wellness with their 2 daughters, who's also a nurse. And you have another daughter that is a doctor of physical therapy. Wow. That's impressive.
The apples did not fall far from the tree.
I guess not. You know, starting out as an entrepreneur. So, you know, what really impresses me is that you have served over 42,000 clients. I think that's wonderful. So what did I miss? What does everybody need to know about my new friend, Melford?
Our big push is to really revolutionize the industry by bringing a lot more professionalism into it in the way that you market your products. So what we found is, thanks to our background with working with so many doctors, we've owned a supplement company, we've owned a fitness center and a day spa, we've owned a digital marketing companies. So we've gotten to actually have doctors as both clients and as partners in our businesses. So we've really gotten the insight into how they best want to serve their patients. And we wanted to take the network marketing model and make it work with that. So removing yourself from only having, your list of 100, your friends and family or the people you're talking to on Facebook, really having a professional outlet where you can serve way more people because it's a one-to-many model. Janet, if we have any quote unquote secret, is that when you work with doctors and health professionals with your network marketing company, you're now working with a one-to-many model because a doctor might have 1,000 patients.
Sure.
And that doctor, and they're so invested in that patient's health that, let's be honest, doctors have TVs. They see the pharmaceutical ads. They see the lawyers that are suing the pharmaceutical companies. Doctors do not want to put their patients on addictive drugs. They would love to have a natural solution. And if your product is that, you're a perfect fit for doctors' offices. That's our goal. Our mission is to deliver you the ability to bring your products professionally, ethically, and clinically into a doctor or health professional's office. That's our whole drive.
Makes sense. And I know, Melford, when you and I had spoke a few weeks back, we talked about wanting to bring back that level of professionalism to the industry, and not only from a clinical standpoint, but from the actual distributor themselves. And exactly. It sounds like you've got a great tool to be able to do that. So you've had a lot of different businesses, all very successful. I mean, thank you. It's one thing to have one seven-figure business, but to have multiples. What's the common theme? What do you find is the reason why you've been successful? And of course, we're gearing this towards network marketing, but just the overall picture. What makes you so successful? What's your secret, if there is a secret?
It's funny. You mentioned it during the bio. The fact that Concetta and I were both raised by family, raised in family businesses. So incredibly independent right from day one, basically taught by our parents, you don't work for somebody, you create your own universe, you do your own thing and never quit. That is the one thing, and we failed. It's funny. Everybody likes to hear about the four massive businesses. They don't hear about the other four that tanked.
Exactly.
If you're not willing to fail, you're never going to succeed. So Concetta and I are 100% driven into everything we do. And once we find a foothold, we don't stop until we win. That's just kind of how we're wired. And that's why we try and teach our team to do the same thing. And now we're actually rolling out our training to the entire industry about not quitting, about not being intimidated by going to a health professional's office, being intimidated into, I ran out of my warm market. Now my network marketing business is over. That's just being intimidated. We want to get you beyond that, where you feel so good about yourself and your products that you will walk up and talk to any health professional you can serve properly. That's the caveat. If you can serve someone properly, you are never selling a product.
Right. Because if you can't provide a solution, you don't have anywhere to go. So
Amen.
You talked about never quitting. What advice would you give to someone who's listening because my gosh, we've all wanted to quit. Mm-hmm. Why don't you quit? What do you do to not quit? What's your secret, if you will, to not quitting?
It's evolved as you would assume. I'm 51 years old now, so I've been doing this for a very long time. What I'm realizing now, and this is actually such a great tip for everybody, I'm realizing that centering myself is allowing me to get all the problems out of my head. About 2 years ago, started meditating every morning. And I mean, I'm a, national champion powerlifter. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Like, most people think, this, big, competitive athlete goon guy. And I realized that it was too easy for me to let my mind wander and then be distracted by a million different things. I'm one of those people that I'm great at one thing, I'm horrible at two. And I truly understood that until I got my mind and my body and my soul centered, and I know it sounds a little airy-fairy for a guy like me to say these things, but until I reached that point of centering, I just got, it was like a shotgun instead of a laser. And once I started meditating, I was able to laser focus, clear all the other problems out of my head, and really get that one thing I needed to work on per day. Whether it's per hour, whether it's per minute or per day, I have that one thing, I hit it, I tackle it, I move on. So it's almost crazy to say it, but meditation changed my life. 20 years ago when I first started, I just hammered. I was young, I was crazy. I, knew I was born for success. So I would just work and work and work and work and work. And if I got distracted, I'd mess up for a few hours and then try and get myself back. Now I'm much better at centering myself again. Right.
Absolutely. Makes complete and total sense. It's I did not know that about you, but I do the same thing. And I love that philosophy for our listeners. One of the things I discovered is that people try to do too many things. And as you said, you don't do any of them well. So doing one thing and making sure that it's the right thing. Would you agree? Yeah. I mean, you could do one thing, but do one thing really, really well. I think that is absolutely critical in keeping that goal in front of you, right? I mean, you know what your goal is. And, let's face it, Melford, there's got to be days when we don't want to do it.
Amen.
The big goal is there.
Yeah, the beach looks very comfy sometimes. The beach is much more desirable than my office sometimes.
Yeah, I'm thinking of myself today, and I have a goal. I've done this for almost 20 months straight that I've walked every single day, minimum of 10,000 steps, most of them 15. And it's 5 degrees and it's below zero wind chill. I will still get my walk in, even though I don't want to. Mm-hmm. But I know I don't want to break that streak. So one thing. I agree. So when you talk about meditation, I didn't know I was going to ask you this question. Do you use a certain technique? Are you using visualization? What do you do when you're meditating, and how long does it take? Because I know it works. It works.
It's funny. Even after 2 years of doing this, I still feel like I'm in kindergarten. So I use a guided meditation. I go to YouTube, and I hope I'm not, bringing any trademark things by saying YouTube, but I go to YouTube. I put in guided meditation for relaxation, sleep, abundance, healing. It's a guided meditation for X. And I personally like a guy named Jason Stevenson. The reason I like him is he's Australian. His voice just really resonates well with me.
Sure.
When he's whispering his sweet nothings in my ear, it makes it much easier for me to center. But again, I feel like I'm still in kindergarten. I still go 15 seconds, ditch off in a direction. Jason brings me back. 15 seconds. I did, and that's the thing, when you run multiple businesses, when you've got these huge teams you're operating, it's very hard to take all that off your plate and say, okay, I'm only going to listen to Jason. I'm only going to follow his directions. Right. I'm only going to breathe. It's incredibly hard just to breathe sometimes when you have 4 million things in your head, but that's how you get better at the 4 million. That's how you make it so you can survive these 4 million things trying to break into your head. It's for 15, 30, 45 minutes a day. You do everything you can to just block it out and just think about his voice or her voice, whomever you choose to listen to. Think about your breathing. It's extraordinary what the last 2 years of just concentrating on that one thing have done for me. And I'm still a newbie. So, don't think I'm a pro.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. So many network marketers, their network marketing business is not their full-time career. They're juggling family. They're juggling another job. They've got kids to take to soccer or whatever the case may be. So even if they can do it for 5 or 10 minutes, it makes a huge difference. But and it has to, like you said, I'm a huge believer in alignment. If it doesn't feel right, it ain't right. I agree 100%. We had talked about bringing back the pride and professionalism. And we both have this overarching goal of wanting to do that. And we have different ways of doing it. But what would you say because I'm sure you've heard this one before, well, that's a pyramid scheme. What would you say when somebody says it's a pyramid?
Because we like to deal mostly with health and medical professionals, thankfully, we don't hear that quite so much. What we hear oftentimes is, I don't want to deal with a network marketing product. But what they don't realize is the product has had so much, so many case studies, so much behind it. You could not build a multi-hundred, if not multi-billion-dollar business on a product that doesn't work properly. So thankfully for our market, that's a little less of an issue.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, if you are teaching other people to have success, don't they want to follow you? Isn't that what to me, when I hear pyramid, I think mentorship. I think precisely the opposite the direction, where that's a positive, that you have someone above you to teach you the right things to do, and you've got the ability to teach somebody below you. As a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, the one thing that we realized from day one is you don't learn as much learning from the teacher as you do teaching somebody else.
Absolutely.
And that's what to me, it's more like a chain than a pyramid. Just because there's less people at the top doesn't mean that they know more, do more, whatever. It's just the way the structure is built. But I like to consider it to be more of a chain where you're learning from someone, hopefully, that's going to teach you the right things to do. And then you're solidifying and magnifying your skills by passing them down the line. Gotcha. I'm an optimist anyways. So anytime I hear a quote unquote pessimistic statement, I just flip it in my head. Like it's just kind of how I'm wired.
Well, it is all about mindset. I mean, that's the biggest thing with network marketing, with any business, but with network marketing especially, because it can be sometimes lonely. But you're absolutely right. That's the old Zig Ziglar. Get what you want by helping more people, and that's what we do. So in a traditional business, does your boss want you to overtake them? Probably not. No, but that's the beauty of it. I love that. I've never had anybody explain it that way. I think that's really great. So I know how you're bringing back the level of professionalism, and that's great. It's absolutely great. So I hate to say it this way, the average network marketer, how can they come across as being more professional as they're out and about, or they're talking to people online or whatever? What suggestions would you give to come across as being more professional? Because if it's not a fake it till you make it, but if you act professional, you will be professional.
You know what? We've always found that, and it's for us, it always comes back to standard business. Being entrepreneurs, being raised in businesses, we never think, how does this work in network marketing compared to real business? We consider it all to be real business. So right. In real business, the first and foremost thing you do is figure out who you're best apt to serve. What is your superpower? Who is the person that needs your superpower? How can you best serve them? When people are doing the old, spray and pray thing of, spamming friends and family and spamming Facebook, that is not drilling down to a specific avatar. Your avatar is not the planet. Please understand the fact that your avatar is not every human being that has a mouth. That is not how you sell your product. You look for human beings that are suffering with something that can be specifically served by your product or service. If there's one on the planet, there's a million. So that's why doing an avatar sheet, that's why drilling down to your perfect client makes it so much easier. People think it's harder to drill down. It's actually easier to drill down to a niche because now you know that ultimate person to serve, and now you just find more of them. We have the internet now. You don't have to go to the yellow pages to find these people. You don't have to knock on doors to find these people, which we do knock on doors. I'm not going to say we don't, because knocking on doors works great. But with the internet out there, you can serve your perfect audience, which is going to do two things. It's going to improve their life, and it's going to make you a better person. Period. End of story. And again, that's why we've chosen to go directly to health professionals and medical professionals. That's what all of our program revolves around is, if you have a product that can serve the health or medical community, you have to. That should be your main drive, knowing that one doctor can serve 1,000 patients. It's not like a house party. And I'm obviously not putting down house parties, but it's not a 1-to-1 in a coffee shop. It's not a 1-to-3 at a house party. This is 1 to thousands of patients. So, if you've got the right product, the right mindset, and you find 10 of the right doctors, the sky's the limit. And that's how we grew, period. I'll be very blunt. We didn't grow by enrolling our parents. We didn't grow by enrolling our friends. We enrolled friends who needed the product. My parents use our product because they need it. We didn't enroll them for anything other than to serve their physical needs. Right. We went after the people that we knew would move the needle most on the planet. And for us, that was health professionals.
Makes complete and total sense. So what I heard you say is you got to have a niche. You have Amen. To know who you're going to serve. That is, and I get so much pushback on that because I can help everybody. Well, not everybody wants to be helped or has the problem that you solve. Right. So I always say sometimes that person mirrors you. Mm-hmm. They look a lot like you. And the other part of it is that when you, because you have to practice what you're going to say, what you're going to do. And if you can stay focused on one, it's what's your messaging. It's all about the messaging. And I am not a believer. I bet you and I could be traveling around the world first class every day of the year if we got money for every time somebody reached out to us on social media with the spray and pray.
Exactly right.
It drives me nuts. I don't know you from Adam, but I should join your business. I would say that I should join your business. That drives me nuts. It's
the opposite of professionalism.
Yeah. One thing that we know that to be truly successful in this business, you've got to develop others and you've got to be a very strong leader. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of empowering others? I mean, we call it duplication, but the real form of duplication, the empowerment. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd actually like to talk about it from two different standpoints.
Okay.
A is my wife, Concetta. Concetta is the heart and soul of our business development. She's the mother figure. She's the sister. She's the daughter. She is that person on our team that makes everybody feel better, get through their issues, and really solidify the fact that we are as much a family as a team. Mm-hmm. So part one is all credit goes to my wife. She is just spectacular at empowering people to want to work together to change the world in a more powerful place. Part two for us is just systems. Part two for us is having the systems in place to allow them to have belief in themselves, belief in their product, belief in what they're doing, belief in network marketing in general. And then penultimate belief that they can succeed in this business if they're clinical ethical and professional doing it. They see so many people. Well, the percentages, 50% of people are gone after 2 years. 95% of people are gone after 5 years. So people who actually stick it out see these folks dropping off and they go, what's wrong with me that I'm staying? Again, me being the optimist, I always think the other way. They should look at that person and say, why didn't they get the training that they want to stay? That's right. That's kind of our two-phase thing is we have the beautiful maternal aspect of Concetta, making sure that our team, whether they're men, women, old, young, whatever they are, they feel like they belong. They feel like they're getting the training. They feel like they're part of a family. And then we empower them with everything they need to know to be successful in this mission of avoiding spray and pray, avoiding spamming, moving that needle as much as humanly possible by enrolling people that can enroll thousands of other people.
Right. So you're looking for people that are looking, and you're looking for leaders.
Completely. Yes. Yep. Yeah. We would love, we never want to, and again, I not to be rude, but the soccer mom or whatever, whatever the parlance is that people use, these folks have everything in them to be successful. They just don't know it yet. And I'm saying that because we've seen it, because we've had folks that were, men and women who were almost afraid of their own shadow kind of people, right. Completely introverted, would barely walk into a doctor's office for their appointment, let alone to bring their product in there. But once they realize to believe in themselves, believe in their company, believe in their product and network marketing, they are empowered. And our goal is to turn them into nutraceutical reps as opposed to pharmaceutical reps. Right.
Makes complete and total sense. And what I'm hearing you say is that it's all about belief in the product, belief in yourself. That's a biggie. And belief in that you're able to solve a problem. Again, I didn't know I was going to ask you this, but it's so true. What would you say to somebody that doesn't have the belief in themselves, what they could do to start believing in themselves, to get the foot out the door and talk to somebody or pick up the phone or whatever? I mean, it's, I always say nobody ever died from picking up the phone, you guys. So pick up the phone.
Exactly.
What would you say to gain the confidence you should do?
I'm so glad you asked me that question, because this is actually a thought that's been evolving. Concetta and I have been actually talking about this a lot lately. And what we found out is, or what's evolved, if you will, is that it isn't just why anymore. For 78 years, this industry has revolved around what's your why, what's your why, what's your why. It's a 3-step process now. It's what's your why, it's what's your how, what's your what. So you need to figure out why you want to do things, but why is just why. And again, now that I'm meditating more and I'm really trying to be as mindful with the words I use and the things I do, why almost comes from a place of wanting. You are wanting this thing. Your why is that thing that's in the future, but you can't touch it. And there's a gap that we're noticing in people when we just concentrate on why. As soon as you introduce how, okay, now I understand. It's having my training to be able to walk into an office and present professionally. The what is the right product for the right person.
Right.
So we've had such this weird paradigm shift where, we've taught why for so long, and we realize that why is barely even the first step now. Why makes them think, oh, I might be able to do it, but I'm not there yet. How is, oh, I can get there. What is, I'm there. So if you can get why to connect to how, to connect to what, you will see massive success in the belief category of everybody you train now.
Right. Absolutely. People, the why, it's all, like you said, it's about the why. And I'm a huge believer in the why. Why are you doing this? What are you, what's your ultimate goal? And that's where most people stop, because I don't know how to do it. So they just totally give up on their dreams. And if you're doing something that you've never done before, you don't know the how, but now you're giving them the how. You gotta, you have to take action. And I'm a mindset coach. I am certified as a coach with Bob Proctor, for goodness sakes, the person. But you know what? It's like Bob says, this is good. You can want it and meditate, but if you don't take action, nothing matters. And you're giving people the tools. And that's what's great about our industry. Regardless of what products you're selling, your company does have a how.
Yeah.
What happens is most people don't follow it. It's like, well, here's the recipe, but I don't want to do that. I only want to do part of it. And if you don't follow the process 100%, it's like my husband's mom's meatloaf. If I didn't follow that recipe exactly, it ain't turning out. So 100%. So now you've got something exciting coming down the pike, and I think it's a book. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you. So our new book is called 7-Figure Network. It says the number 7figurenetwork.com. We're in pre-launch now. So go to 7figurenetwork.com and you'll find a site, and that way you can sign up for the pre-launch. The most important thing I want you to realize that we are not making you a promise to be a 7-figure person. We are promising to teach you how to get in with 7-figure people that can give you the potential to be a 7-figure earner. So people see the name and they go, oh, well, I'm barely making anything. How can I ever make this paradigm shift to being a 7-figure earner? We want to put you in a 7-figure network. That's the way to get. And the reason I say it this way is because, again, you and I and probably everybody watching this knows the industry very well. Less than 1% of people make it to the top of their industry. It is what it is. So we are trying to combat that by putting you in front of the right audience that can make it so anybody can get there. You don't have to be the incredible introvert. You don't have to be the person that stands on your soapbox and screams about your product 23 hours a day on Facebook. You can find that perfect 7-figure network. And as I said earlier in the conversation, you find 10 doctors, you just found your 7-figure network. You just built your 7-figure business by finding 10 doctors, training them properly, and getting them to serve their patients.
Right. So my question to you, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, or if you want to answer it. I know you're working with corporate, which is phenomenal, giving them the tools. What if I'm an individual? Would I have access to what you do?
Yep. So that's the 7-figure network. So we're launching into the industry. We use this is the training that we use to get ourselves.
Okay.
This was our secret that we finally decided to release to the industry. So we're walking the line of trying to help as many individuals as possible while we're training the corporations to use the same product. So right now we're working with individuals as best as humanly possible. And that's why we released the 7figurenetwork.com. That way folks can read the book. They can get our training center. If they want, they can get some more additional training from us. They are going to learn all the things that are going to make it so they can be in that 7-figure network. Gotcha. With the companies, we can be hyper specific. So it's your products, it's your case studies, it's your doctor, it's your everything. So we're able to roll out this whole market or this whole system out company wide. And again, there's so many companies out there that are just so perfectly clinical, but aren't tapping into that medical market. I talk to, C-suite folks in these companies all day long, and they say, oh, we'd be doing so much better if we could just get into the medical market. And they just haven't done it yet because it's different. It's different than what's happening.
And you're providing the how. But if I'm an individual and I'm in, like you said, clinical, it could be, and maybe maybe it's you're selling CBD or you're selling any health products. This is perfect. So you really have got your niche down.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have niched down incredibly well because we know who we love to serve and we know how we can move the needle most. It really, Janet, it always comes down to that. We've been doing this for so long and, we're not kids anymore. We just want to move the needle as much as humanly possible. And we've determined that training individuals to work with health professionals and training companies to work with health professionals swings that needle like nothing else we've ever found in network marketing. Makes
sense. Makes complete and total sense. Well, Melford, I have learned a ton. But, again, we connected. It is all about connections, and I'm not a 7-figure earner, but I like to talk with 7-figure earners. So you're absolutely right. It's who your network is. But so we will have show notes for everybody, just so you know. So they will have access to the 7-figure network, and everything is in there for them to be able to get a hold of you. But I so appreciate it. But I want to ask you an off-the-cuff question. Man, you're so well-rounded. You do so many things. And you're a busy guy. What do you do when you're not working? What do you like to do for fun?
We are beach folks. My wife and I are salty dogs. We like to joke. Every weekend we're out on the boats, the jet skis, something. We are just play. Oh, and the most important thing, we just had our grandchild. We just had our first grandchild. So we're in heaven.
I bet you they will be
over the moon.
spoiled. They will be spoiled by grandma and grandpa. That's great.
So if we're not on the boat, we're playing with Emma. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And Emma's going to be loved. It is very, very obvious. I can just feel how excited you are about that. And that's why you're building a huge business and helping so many people. So, well, Melford, I can't thank you enough. And I know our audience has got a lot out of this. I certainly did. And for our listeners, you got to go to sevenfigurenetwork.com. I know that I will be. Sounds like you've got a great profession. And like I said, we're in the same boat. We want to take and bring the professionalism back and the pride of being in this great industry. So thank you so much. And I want to thank our listeners and check them out. And if you go to coachjanetm.com, you can listen to all of the podcasts. But I'm watching you because I know you guys are going to change the industry. So thanks much, everybody. And I look forward to talking with you very, very soon. Bye now.